Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, and we welcome you back for this entire week of study where we will focus the entirety of the week on parenting. On last week, we spent the entirety of the week focusing on the topic of love. Today we will do parenting and do simply a definition. On tomorrow, we will talk about things that every parent can do. On Wednesday, we will talk about parental teaching more specifically. On Thursday, we will talk about parents and their accountability. And then on Friday, we will do parents and a value clarification. For today, let's do a simple definition of parenting. If you look at the noun form of parenting, it simply means the one who is responsible for the bringing forth of a child. It is the material source from which the child originates. If you look at the verb form of the word parent, it simply means to be and to function as the developer of that which has been brought forth. So on one hand you have the noun usage, and then on the other you have the verb usage. Now, the noun or the verb term for parent can come in a variety of packages, from poor to fair to good to better and great, and etc. So what I'm suggesting as we look at a working definition of parenting is that on one hand we're looking at the source of a child being brought into this earth, and then secondly, the verb form, we're looking at the individual as the developer of that which has been brought forth. Children do not get to select either the noun or the verb form of parents. Parenting is the responsibility, therefore, of the parent and not the child. So if parenting is to take place, then we must first identify and accept ownership of who's responsible for parenting. It is not the child. What type parent are you? And really, what type parent, better still, do you really want to be? In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse number 28, the first sector of the verse, the Bible says, "But let a man examine himself." That's also applicable to parenting. Proper parents must first examine how they have defined a parent. The failure to parent is a wholesome, or the failure to parent in a wholesome manner is modeling an acceptance of unacceptable attitudes, actions, and speech toward parenting. So if a person in self-examining concludes that I reject all efforts to examine how I parent, and I'm content in 100% of how I parent, although the results are bad, the results are just mediocre, then in essence what you're saying is you are accepting an unacceptable result and you are okay with the outcome. Or we could look at it from a second perspective. The commitment to provide teaching through one's experience, whether they are the experiences of accomplishments, spiritual journeys, trials by fire, faithfulness to God, regardless of the cost, is the most fulfilling type parenting imaginable. In other words, we learn from our experiences. We learn from our tribulations. We learn from our disappointments. The commitment to provide teaching through one's experiences. In other words, you are willing to talk honestly, appropriately about your accomplishments, about your failures, about your aspirations as a parent. You're willing to talk about the source of how you learn to parent. There are many people around the world, not just in the United States, who feel like it's a badge of honor to boast about, I've got 10 children, I've got 15 children, but I do not own responsibility for this or that. There are people who boast about investing all of their time in providing for their children, but yet they do not take time to invest in the personal individual. So when we talk about a working definition of parenting, I hope you can see at the onset that it covers a broad spectrum of ground. Now, parents come in many different packages. There are custodial parents. These are the parents who are actually in possession of the child. There are primary care parents. These are parents who provide the larger amount of direct care, not necessarily the custodial parent. So there's a distinction between a custodial parent and a primary care parent. There are single parents. Various reasons, such as never being married, separated, divorced, widowed, etc., will classify an individual as a single parent. There are step parents. One or more of the biological parents are married to someone other than the original father or mother of the child. There are, sadly to say, unfit parents. These are abusive, addicted, not interested in the child in any type manner. No concern, never wanting to be around the child, do not want any type of affiliation with that child. These are sometimes classified as the unfit parent. And then there are a group of parents called foster parents. These are typically non-kinship temporary care parents who have graciously opened their hearts, opened their homes, and opened the wealth of their parenting experiences to provide temporary care to children for whatever other reasons the biological parent, the custodial parent, be it a single parent or step parent, or even an unfit parent, have made a determination that they are not in a position at this moment in time to provide care. Now, let's go back and review really quick. Parents. It can be a noun, it can be a verb. A parent is an individual simply who on one hand is responsible for the child being in this world. And then another working definition of a parent is simply the one who is actually teaching, modeling in the development of the child. Keep in mind that according to the verb definition, that teaching or that modeling can be for the better or it might be for the worse. That's going to be determined mostly by your exposure as a parent. Who parented you? What did they teach you? What did they model? What was their philosophy spiritually, socially, economically about the real responsibility of a parent? We will see you back in class again tomorrow as we continue to develop the topic of parenting. Please allow yourselves an opportunity to think through the lesson today, and we want you to not only come back yourself, but invite family, invite friends, invite coworkers to tune in tomorrow as we continue to develop this very critical topic of parenting. I'll see you back in class again tomorrow. Don't be late and don't skip class.